Yeah, pretty interesting. Kind of like a dam on a river. Yeah, it's sort of that same concept. Okay, before we go into the whys of why this is so important, I'm just going to go ahead and give you the rules so you know, okay, how much, what am I supposed to do with water? Okay, first of all, how much water? Here's the rule. Half as many ounces, maybe you should get a pen. Stop this, get a pen, write this down. Um, half as many ounces per day as your weight in pounds. Okay, half as many ounces per day as your weight in pounds. Okay, there's a great little website, conversion.com, I believe, if you need to convert anything. And then for Europeans, I converted that into, that's about 1 liter for every 33 kilos of weight. Okay, so 1 liter for every 33 kilos. Okay, and then of course this is going to alter depending on other factors. Maybe it's where you live. It's extremely dry. You're going to want to increase that. Maybe you eat lots and lots, you only eat fruits and vegetables, you wouldn't need as much, okay, because there's loads of water in there. If you're exercising and you're sweating a lot or something like that, it's summer, you're going to probably want to take in more. And if you're pregnant, you're definitely going to want to take in more. You're going to, you're feeding the water for not just yourself, but of course a growing baby who is what, 75% water, not to mention the amniotic fluid around the baby, right? Okay, so when do you want to drink this water? When you first wake up. That's when you first want to drink water, obviously. I mean, makes sense. You've been asleep all night. That's your most dehydrated part of the day for most people, yeah? So he suggests drink 2 to 3 glasses of water in the morning. And here's a little trick. I know a lot of people, it's hard. You've sort of lost your thirst sensation and the idea of drinking that much water. So like most people, that's going to translate how much water? It's going to translate to like 2 liters of water, like a half a gallon of water a day. Some people are like, whoa, no way. I drink twice that, and that's what I'm supposed to drink, is about a half a gallon or 2 liters. I drink twice that easy every day. In fact, I drink that in the morning before anything else ever hits my mouth. I drink a half a gallon or 2 liters. But here's a little trick. If you have lost that thirst sensation, which happens, don't worry. When you start taking in more water, you will start to increase your thirst sensation. You will want more. Believe it or not, I mean, even after I drink like a half a gallon, maybe over an hour or something, I still want more water. I'm still thirsty. So here's a little trick, though. If you don't have that, if it hasn't kicked in for you yet, before you brush your teeth, go ahead and drink your water. So, because if you're going to brush your teeth, water's going to hit your mouth. It's going to kind of take up some of that. So maybe go to bed with a bottle of water right before right next to you or something. So as soon as you wake up, go ahead and drink your water. Okay. So that's the first one. The other one is a half an hour before any meal that you have. You're going to want to drink 1 to 2 glasses. I would suggest 2 glasses. Why not? Or you could drink it 2.5 hours after a meal. Okay. Now the reason for this is, actually we're going to get into the reason why you do it before, but you don't want to do it right after a meal, because it's gonna interfere with your whole digestion process, right? You've got those acids in your stomach that are digesting things. When you drink water, that water is going to go down, hit that acid, and it's going to start neutralizing it. Your digestion is not going to be as efficient, yeah? So you don't want to do that. Don't let the water interfere with your digestion. So, and you definitely want it before, and as you'll see in a minute, you need water before. It's a very critical part of the whole digestion process, but it comes from a different, I'll explain it anyway. And then of course you could do 1 glass before bed. I wouldn't do it right before bed, otherwise you might have to get up in the middle of the night, but that's another good time, yeah? Maybe an hour before bed or something, okay? So we got that. When you first wake up, half an hour before every meal, or 2.5 hours well after any meal that you've eaten, yeah? And I'm going to be honest, if sometimes I miss the half an hour point on the before I eat something, I'll actually drink some water even 10 minutes before. I'll just hold off on what I was going to eat, because I know I'm going to feel thirsty afterwards, and I know that I can't drink it after the meal. So I'll actually drink a glass or 2, maybe 10 minutes before, because water will move it, especially on an empty stomach. It'll move right through your stomach and right back out, okay? It goes right into the intestines, gets absorbed into the body, okay? I just do that in order to make sure I don't interfere with eating. Okay. All right, so we know we need water, right? Well, just like everything in life, there's sort of a yin and yang to everything. There's something else that we need, okay? We need something else to balance out that water, and that lies in salt, or salt minerals to be specific. It's easily represented as salt because salt is the #1 mineral that our body needs. It's amazing. It's really not when you understand the whole politics of medicine. It's absolutely ridiculous, these salt-free diets they put people on. It's just insane to say that we don't need salt. I mean, all you got to do is look at your sweat, look at your tears. I mean, obviously, salt is part of us. I mean, in fact, after oxygen and water, salt is the next most important thing that our body needs. Okay, so we get salt minerals through fruits and vegetables, but people aren't eating enough fruits and vegetables. So if they're not if they're not adding any extra salt onto their food because the doctors told them that salt is bad, you'll see why they do it. But then you're going to be low on salt. It's going to cause serious problems in your body. Okay, now this has to do with I don't want to get into technical discussion, but it has to do with osmotic pressure. Maybe you learned that in high school and you got to remember what that is, but it has to do with flow across a membrane, or let's say a semi-permeable membrane, right? So the membrane of the cell will allow certain things to cross across, but other things not, yeah? So each little cell has, all kinds of little things inside of it, right? And on the outside, each little cell is floating in like a little ocean. Yeah, on the outside of all the cells is salt water. And that salt is very critical to help keep the balance of what is allowed, how much water gets in or back out of the cell. Okay? That's about as detailed as I want to go on that one. If you want the official definition of it, it's osmotic pressure is the draw or the pulling power of solutes, on a less concentrated fluid across a semi-permeable membrane. Anyway, it's important, okay? Let's see. And if you doubt this, if you think your doctor's absolutely right on this, I mean, think about back in history, the history of salt. Remember the Romans used to pay salaries to people in salt. I mean, salt was critical. Maybe you think it was just to salt their meat so their meat wouldn't go bad or something like that. I'm not so sure that was it. But anyway, here's that fascinating, it's fascinating as though I read it. I have not read this, but I would like to read it. Anyway, here's a book called Natural Salt Secrets, and it's basically about the history of salt in health. So if you're interested, that's probably a very fascinating book. But here we've got Pliny. Okay, he was a natural philosopher of ancient Rome, and in 75 AD he called salt foremost among human remedies. So I think we humans will wake up and start realizing this as the obvious, simple, natural things start coming back to light. Yeah, they've been sort of suppressed for a long time, but it's all coming back. Okay, so here's a good, okay, how much salt, right? We did the how much water, how much salt. Dr. B, I'm going to call him Dr. B for short, yeah? His rule of thumb is ½ a teaspoon for every 2 quarts, right? Okay, 2 quarts, 2 liters, that's about 10 glasses, yeah? If you weigh 140 pounds or something like that, or 70, well, maybe not 70, about 70 kilo, I don't know. You're going to want about ½ a teaspoon of salt every day, okay? So, where should you get your salt minerals, yeah? And again, I say it's just represented as salt because salt is the #1 component of all the minerals that your body needs, but it needs a whole lot of other minerals other than just salt, and that's why you don't want to get it here. You do not want to get it from the when it rains it pours variety, okay? This is pure salt, nothing else, okay? They basically take salt minerals, which is a whole wonderful mixture of a variety of minerals that our bodies need, and they strip everything out of it and they just leave the pure NaCl. And then they add back in some iodide, which is causing all kinds of problems for people with their thyroids. You know, they think we're stupid, and the iodine that they stripped out, which is absolutely essential to your body, can be replaced with iodide. You know, hey, there's no difference. There's a huge difference to our body.